good, but we got this thing called herbs, and everybody's going to want this. It's medicinal. And a lot of people sitting there thought, herbs? Nobody takes herbs. And the only people I know doing herbs are rolling it and smoking it. And so most of them didn't do anything, but a few caught it. And they said, wow, he's right. It's going to be huge. Where's Herbalife today?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's a world giant in network marketing, a very powerful company. That's right. You go over on the other side in Asia, they dominate. Amway, Herbalife. Those companies are still huge, huge. In the 90s, it was all about antioxidants because baby boomers weren't supposed to get old. Mm-hmm. We weren't supposed to have wrinkles. What's this gray hair stuff? You know? And so, but antioxidants, couldn't spell it. We just put it in our mouth, drink it down with water. That's right. Well, I don't want gray hair and wrinkles. And so a lot of companies jumped on that. Creams and everything. Care was a big company that led with it. But the problem was, just like with vitamins, just like with herbs, as Nathan talked about, there's nothing exclusive about that.
Right. Yep.
Nothing exclusive. They couldn't protect that opportunity. Amway, Shackley, Herbalife, they couldn't protect that opportunity for any of those distributors. So they became what we call Me Too products. You say you got it, somebody else is shouting, Me too, we got it too. $2, yes, $2 less a bottle, you know, something like that, you know. And it was a price war, it was a commodity. And that's what's happened with a lot of those network marketing companies, is that those products became commodities. Mm-hmm. And when you're in a commodity, when you're in a price war, and then there's, what, GNC, and then there's Walmart or Costco, or we got noni juice too, we got acai berry juice too, you know what I mean? Or Goji, or whatever, what I call the jungle juice companies. They go up like a rocket, down like a rocket. Mm-hmm. You know, they go from feast to famine, most of their leaders. That's right. Doesn't happen in For Life. You don't see that happening with us. We are solid as a rock. We are granite in our growth. And so when I saw, what appealed to me about this when I looked at For Life, I could remember, and Dave Daughtry wasn't the one who introduced me to it. Actually, I had a few people call me. And like I said, I tried companies before, and you know, some of those companies didn't work out. And I can remember I got a phone call from one of the guys that was in corporate in For Life when they were just getting started. And I didn't even call him back. I didn't even call him back when he said, hey, Jeff, David Lisamy started this company. It's called For Life Research. We got this unique product called Transfer Factor. And I thought, oh, Transfer Factor, humbug. You know, I thought, no way. And finally, I started getting some other calls from different people. And they said the same thing, that this product is incredible. And finally, I thought, well, they can't all be liars. So I had a girl one time, she was talking about how it helped her with her female problems, and I said, all right, okay, it's a testimony, it's good. Finally, a friend of mine, you remember Mark McCarty? Okay. Mark McCarty, a hippie kid. I was talking to him one day. I never worked with Mark before. We were just friends. And I heard Mark had joined For Life. And I said, I was talking to him on the phone. I said, are you going to do this? And he said, oh, yeah, I'm going to do it. You know, he said, you want to do it? I said, oh, I don't know. And I said, well, what is it about? I mean, their product name is strange. I mean, it's called Transfer Factor. That is a weird name for a product. And he said, well, I don't know what it's about because I just signed up. And he's going to be my sponsor, right? I guess he was trying to give me hope. And so finally, you know, I called that 800 hotline. That 800 hotline for Transfer Factor. Dr. Rob Robertson had a special message about the product. When I listened to Dr. Rob, you remember that message? When I listened to that message, I thought, this is it. This is exactly what I'm looking for. Because I knew about these other companies. about the vitamins, about the herbs, about the antioxidants. All these companies were packaging the same, those ingredients, but differently, and just calling it different names. But everybody's selling the same thing. And I didn't want to do that. I just didn't want to do that. And I said, I'm looking for something exclusive. Well, I was told you can't find that. It's impossible. Network marketing companies don't have that. And then when I heard that message, I said, this is it. This is exactly what I'm looking for. Of course, keep in mind, friends, we only have one product called Transfer Factor. That was it. And you know what? I didn't want another product. Because we were doing so good with that one. That was all I focused on. And we were growing like crazy, weren't we? And then finally they came out with Transfer Factor Plus, and I thought, Plus? What is that? Well, it took me a little while to catch on, but that product became our flagship product, which what it is today. An incredible product. If you had heard our conference calls back then, we would never do it we wouldn't dream of doing those today. Because I got on those calls and you'd hear all these stage 4 cancer victims who were sent home to die, and then now they're in total remission with this product. It was almost scary. It was that good. We wouldn't dream of doing those calls today because, you have to tell these stories quietly in a nation of democracy, don't you? The way the laws are today. The FDA would never allow it. We can't even say vitamin C is good anymore. It's crazy. But the truth is, nothing's changed. And like Nathan said, it got 25% better than it was before. And that's what I saw. So why am I talking about this? A lot has changed since I started. You have such a better opportunity than I had when I started. When I started, it was just a few people down at the office. Nathan was one. David Lisenby, Bruce Red, a few of the girls. They answered the phone. You call up to order product. You're on hold for 30 minutes. Nathan's in shipping. No wonder it took us to get product so long. I just had to do that. I just had to do that. I'm going to tell you, it wasn't easy. It was hard. See, everybody says, well, Jeff, you got in at the right time. I said, right time? Right time? What is this right time stuff? Because when I got in, everybody had to be on hold for such a long time. So many quit. Our compensation plan is not what it is today. It's not. This is a totally different compensation plan. Back then, it was more unilevel. It was hard to make any big money. As a matter of fact, when we started, we didn't even own the patent to Transfer Factor. 2 men out of South Carolina owned it. If you ever do any research on this, and I lived in South Carolina at the time, I knew who they were. And I thought, this is, I told Dave Daughtry, I said, wow, because Dave Lisenby actually connected with these guys, and that's how it all started coming together. And I told Dave Daughtry, well, they can sell it to Amway, they can sell it to Shackley, or they can sell it to anybody they want. So our opportunity, it's not protected. And so I didn't do anything more with it for a while. See, that was the thing. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't perfect. Guess what? Later on, about a year later, he bought the patent holders out. Well, then what happened? He started bringing scientists, research people into the company, like Cal McCausland, who developed our vision of what we call a transferceutical science. We didn't have this vision of transferceutical science. We didn't understand you can customize transfer factors. It's like there's a whole science to this. That wasn't our vision when we started. But it just got better and better and better. And finally the company bought out Shackley, or not Shackley, but ShapeRite, to use their facilities. It was an excellent building for us to move into. Plus we used some of their corporate people. For instance, Steve too came out of ShapeRite. So did some of the other executives. So we were able to come right in, and now we weren't in that small office anymore. The compensation plan, like I said, it was a struggle to make the, you know, if you're talking about to make big money, that didn't exist. But it took years and years and years. We stuck with it. Why? Because we believed in it. We believed in this product. We believed what it would do. And I didn't always know what was around the corner. I didn't know, but I knew where we were today. And I knew it. And I knew that if we stayed with this thing, it could be great. So now, the thing is, you have now such a unique company. Such a unique company. And like Nathan was saying, you go anywhere you go, you can ask people, you ever heard of 4-5 Research? What do they say? No. You say Amway, they go, you know, like you're in a cult, right? That's right. You have the U.S. market. And there's some tools I'd like to show you. And what I'd like to do is cut the, if we could cut that on for a minute. Would you like to see some online tools to help enhance you with your business to grow? I'm going to do that before it gets much later. And I guess I better come back there. Why doesn't everybody just stand up and stretch? Stand up and stretch. Hey, Nathan, can you help me out?
Yeah.
Did you minimize it or do I got to sign in again?
Próximamente.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. Oh, we'll start there. You know, and I wonder too if we can. Let me see if we can cut the front lights out. We can probably see that better. Okay. I'm going to sign in a minute, but for just a second, I want to just talk to you about this. We call this the International Mentors Team. It's not the same thing like INT, if you're an INT and all that. It's just simply a club of leaders who are mentors. We believe in this. We believe that, you know, most people in this industry are recruited. They're never mentored. And we believe in the value of a mentoring system that you must have in place if you're going to grow your team. And of course, in that right there, it shows the girl talks about our IMT back office. Our IMT back office has all the tools you need. First of all, in this system that I have, try not to get ahead of myself. And if you want to sit down, you can sit down.
Thank you.
But when I came back, just to get into my story, when I came back from being overseas in Guam and all of Asia and traveling and doing events, I was only planning on being gone 1 year. It ended up being 6. And then when Michelle was pregnant with Arthur, after he was born, we moved to the United States. When I got back to the United States, I looked at the tools because I'd never seen a compass kit in 6 years. And then I looked at the compass kit and I thought, okay, this is traditional network marketing the way we've been doing it for 20, 30 years. You know, go out and do meetings, go out and do presentations, try to get people to come to meetings. You know, it's like getting people to go to church, you know. You know, there's nothing wrong with meetings. And you got a meeting here, support it. If you're in Boston, or like I think George Rodriguez, they got a meeting place in New Jersey, support it, use it, it's great. But understand this, most people in the towns and cities of the U.S. where you live, which would be true with the rest of the world, do not have this. They don't have this kind of support. And so it makes it very difficult for you when you recruit them to give them any support because you're here in Providence, Rhode Island. But imagine if I'm in Tennessee and you're sponsoring me, there are no meetings. What do I do? Mm-hmm. What's the next step? And then when people ask you that, a lot of people, their brains just go blank because they don't know. They just don't know. And so what we do is we have a system that is, first of all, comprised of replicated websites for each leader. Each leader will get their own website. Now, I can show you mine in a second, but this is just the team website when you go to it, and it just talks about some of the things that it's about. But you get a website that acts as a lead capture page and a website at the same time. Why is that important? It's important because if we want to be a 21st century